Okay, so yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't do voiceovers all that often. But so my first idea for Dandy's World for Razzle and Dazzle is you know how usually when you find Razzle and Dazzle, they're sitting down and they can't move because they're like held down by a weight. But since the roleplay was added, they can stand up and move around as shown in the footage. But I'm currently sitting down. Okay, yeah, as you can see right now, you can run around as Razzle and Dazzle. And this sparked an idea. What if there was a rare chance where instead of Razzle and Dazzle sitting down, they're actually like walking around? And you may be wondering, but Spronkle, how would they work? I'm getting to that. So, my concept, instead of you can't run near them, I'm gonna incorporate that in a different way. It's gonna be a new type of AI for the Twisted. So, what's gonna happen is Razzle and Dazzle, if they spot you, will run up to you, and if you don't move, you just stand still, they'll leave you alone. And they'll just move on with their day. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for Razzle and Dazzle.
Let's move on to the next one.
Okay, so this was before I learned that you could you're getting Dandy when it's out of alpha. So my idea was in one of the maps there was a chance that a shop would spawn in like a corner or something. And it would be run by another flower named Frolic. Don't ask where I got the name. So anyway, So my concept was that was where you could buy Dandy's Toon license, like where you could buy him. But this was before I knew we were getting him as a character when the alpha was done. But yeah, that was my concept. And another concept that I had for Dandy while I was recording footage was when you're playing as Dandy in roleplay mode and you exit out of roleplay mode, you get him as a reward when you go into the actual game. And I don't know, they're just concept ideas and, malarkey. But yeah, that's my ideas for that. What? So anyway, my idea for the Twisteds and how this is for the new roleplay mode, but you would have to go to the main game to do it. So my idea is that there's a very rare chance that on a floor, instead of just your old normal Twisted, the Twisted will be its vintage self. And depending on the rarity of the Twisted, that's how rare their vintage version is, except a lot rarer. So for instance, a vintage Poppy would not be that rare, but still rare. But yeah, so essentially, but for someone like Shelly, a vintage Shelly would be like a 1 out of 200 chance. Because, well, it's Shelly. And someone like Shrimpo would be like a 1 out of like 50. So that's my idea for that. But there's a second part. But you don't just get like normal research on them, you get vintage research. And when you get 100% vintage research, you'll get them to play in the roleplay mode as like a vintage Twisted, and I thought that was really cool. So anyway, next idea! Okay, so my idea is, the daily board is not that useful to me half the time because, well, it makes Twisteds that are normally pretty dang common even more common. So, my idea is to just make it to where certain mains will be still, like, more common. However, the board isn't completely random. Every one day, if the board isn't a main already, every day, one day will be a common, then the next day will be a main, common, main, common, main, common, main. So it's like a new system to where things will be a lot more convenient and like pop and also anything uncommon or above is only allowed to be more common. Or maybe just the rare and above. I think only rare and above. Because people don't need more Poppy or more Shrimpo. I haven't seen this yet, but I don't want more Poppy. No, no, no. But yeah, that's pretty much my concept to rework the board and make it a little more useful to everyone.
Yeah, next freaking idea, people.
This idea is a lot more straightforward than the other ones, but here we go. So, a lot of the tunes are kind of unbalanced in ways. Like, for example, Razzle and Dazzle, who I'm bringing up again. So, my idea is to just make them better. So, my concept is, before you enter an odd floor, or like an even floor, every floor when you're in the elevator, you get to choose one thing. You get to choose between a comedy or tragedy. And, well, if you choose comedy, Dazzle will fall asleep, and then Razzle will be awake. So essentially, you're using Razzle, who's the fast one. But they're gonna have a low extraction speed and won't be that fast, like Goobs. But if you choose tragedy, then, well, they'll be the same speed. But they'll be like the speed of they'll be Poppy speed. They'll be Poppy speed, they'll have Poppy's walk and run speed. So that they won't be immensely slow. But if you want to still have the old one, there's an option in the middle where you can choose comedy and tragedy. Where you'll just be like how they usually are. And by the way, I did say that you'd get to choose between after every floor, but you can only choose one. So like floor 1, you'd have to choose between comedy or tragedy, and you can't go back. So if you choose comedy, you're stuck with comedy. You're stuck with tragedy, and you're gonna be stuck with the other one. So yeah, that's pretty much my concept of Razzle and Dazzle. And there's another tune I wanted to rework, but who was it? Ooh, they were so unimportant to me, I forgot they existed. Give me a second. Ooh, oh, Dandy. So it isn't really a rework, but I have ideas for Dandy. So instead of 3 hearts, he will have 2 because he is a main technically. And he will have 2 abilities like they usually do. 1 active, 1 passive. His passive ability is Dandy will get more Ichor when extracting or collecting capsules. Because, well, he started it, so it makes sense. And his active will be he can call every Twisted to his location. Right then, right there. Oh, actually, wait, better idea. The Twisteds will not see him and will not aggro on him for like 20 seconds. So, yeah. And Dandy will have about the average stats, and I'll leave the stats up to you, so comment Dandy's stats in the comments. Next idea, if I have any. This idea is a lot less straightforward, and you're probably wondering why it's called Twisted Death. So, let me give some background context. So, as we all know, the Twisteds are overcome Ichor versions of tunes. So, I had a really evil idea. What if there was a 25% chance that when a tune dies, they will become a Twisted. Like, an NPC Twisted will spawn. But this can only happen if you're on floor 15 or higher. Because we don't want to break the game because a lot of people die floors 1 to 5. So if you die from floors 15 to 15 and up, that's when it starts to go from 25% chance. Because, yeah, we gotta make it fair. We can't just if a bunch of Poppies die on floor 1, then they're gonna have a bunch of Twisted Poppies running around. So And since it is still related to death, there should be a thing where you can save dead tunes. And because yeah. Oh wait, I just had a really good idea on the spot. What if there was a chance where instead of just flat out killing you, the Twisteds take your dead body and put you somewhere, and then another toon can come like heal you up with like a med kit or something. They can like give it to you. And I think that'd be really cool. So that's the end of this video. And that's why I should be a part of Blush Crunch Studios, because I got some really good ideas. Please see this video, Blush Crunch. Please, I love your kid.